let's look at two new important products today that I have kind of fallen through the cracks in the huge releases that have come so far this holiday season. But I wanted to get this in before the Sephora sale starts. I want to look today at the Urban Decay Moondust Quad. This is the glitter eyeshadow palette that they have for $39. It's limited edition and it's kind of cute. So I want to look at that. And then a product I've really been enjoying today. I've been wearing it for a while because I have a little bit of a wear test going on, and I really like it. I want to bring it to your attention lest you miss it. And that is the LYS Bright Start Creamy Buildable Coverage Airbrush Concealer, which comes in 26 shades and is medium to full coverage. Plus they have this cute little concealer brush for like $16 that goes along with it. So I want to talk about those products and test them out today on Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. I'm a fashion and beauty editor. I have done this for my entire adult life. And my editorial work has given me the bright idea to bring it here digitally to YouTube. That's why it's called Not Fit for Print. It's digital now, where you have a little digital beauty magazine you can look through every day or so. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I did mention that the Sephora sale is coming up. I am preparing a Sephora recommendations video. I always do a little bit of a different type of one, and I'm preparing that this coming week for Thursday because the Sephora sale starts Friday. So please watch for that later this week, depending upon when you're seeing this video. And we'll have a lot of products to talk about in that. Let's go ahead and look at this Urban Decay Moondust Quad outside in the warm California sunshine. Here it is. Take a look at it on my arm out there. It's very pretty, a little bit cool toned, which is nice because the Urban Decay Moondust Quads have been very warm. So just in case you have been under a makeup rock, Urban Decay really hit it big with a release of theirs called Space Cowboy, which was this super glittery, beautiful shade. And it's kind of a one and done shadow. And they realized they had something here because that shade has been in a makeup artist kit and I don't think it's beatable, frankly, but they started doing like little Space Cowboy quads. And I mean, I don't blame them. They're capitalizing on it. And especially around the holidays, they'll tend to do, because, you know, glitter is it for the holidays. They'll tend to do these little short limited edition release sparkly shades that are kind of a one and done. I don't know that one would really wear all four of these, but they kind of have a different look to them and they're very pretty. And they've even got some purple in there, you know, and some duochrome. They're experimenting with it and having fun because it still hasn't dethroned Space Cowboy, which is one of my favorite go-to kind of one and done glitter shades and always will be. But this is a really pretty product, $39. I thought we would play with it a little bit. You saw it outside. You can put this on with your finger, or you can put this on with a brush. With a brush, if you use too fluffy of a brush, you're going to get a little bit of glitter fallout. Depends if that bothers you or not. But if you use your finger, usually the oils and the warmth from your finger will kind of help this melt in a little better and prevent some fallout. I will tell you that I have used some bronzer in my crease, not because I'm trying to throw off the look of this, but because I have hooded eyes and I'm just, even if I do a one and done, I'm going to want to give some definition to the lid. So I do have a little bit of bronzer there. But all that information, everything we're talking about here today and everything I'm wearing here today can be found down below in the description bar or where appropriate up here in YouTube shopping. And then you could take a look at that. All right, let's go now to me. We'll go back in time to me starting first ever using this LYS Bright Start Creamy Buildable Coverage Airbrush Concealer with its cool little sponge tip. So this comes in 26 shades. We'll talk about the shade that I have chosen, and I'll show you how to use this and what's interesting about it coming up right now. Okay, I want to say that I'm fresh-faced here, but I don't know if fresh is the best word for it. Let's go ahead and try this though. I have here the LYS Bright Start Creamy Buildable Coverage Airbrush Concealer. So this comes in 26 shades and I have gotten the shade Ivory Beige MN1 is what it's called. What an interesting concealer, interesting tip. Everything about it really kind of fascinates me. So let's give it a twist and get some product to the top of the sponge. This is not my first rodeo here with sponge products. They take a little bit of time, so I'll speed this up. Okay, And then when we press on it, we do get the product there. So this is really interesting. Let's see. I need concealer mostly where I kind of use color corrector, which is in, sing it if you know it, my Dark Pits of Despair. And here they are here. And then I'll show you. We'll see if this takes care of it. I've been using color corrector, but this is kind of nice because it kind of blends. You know, I've so many products use a brush at the end, but having a sponge at the end is actually kind of unique. What's it? Urban Decay did one a few seasons ago. I'm not blending this yet. A few seasons ago that had a brush, and I just find the brush stiff and uncomfortable. This is a little bit light for me, but that's okay. I'm not real, I'm only doing one side of the face, guys. I'm not real concerned with shade of concealer unless it's really bad, because as long as your foundation shade is on, I don't even mind a little bit of a lighter concealer because I have these darker spots, you know, and that's my problem. All right, let me let it sit for just a moment. Letting concealer sit for a moment is never a bad idea. And then we'll use this concealer brush. Okay, I'll let you know from the get-go, I do like the price of this brush. It's only $16, but I wish that it were a little bit of a firmer, stiffer bristles, not hard or harsh. These are very long and flexible, which is nice. It is doing the job. It is blending, but I like it to be a little bit of shorter hairs and not quite as flexible. And that's just personal preference. If you like one that's a little bit softer, longer bristles, it sure did blend well. So I can't be mad at it for that. Just in terms of feel, it's not my absolute preference. All right, but a very interesting tip on this and very useful. And if you don't press down, you could kind of use this to blend. All right, well, let's take a look at what we got. Not too bad on the color choice. See what I mean? You can be very flexible with concealer choice. All right, so here we go with it freshly applied. Look especially here on the inner eye, because that is where the Dark Pits of Despair are and what needs the most coverage. And then look at the side that's untouched by the LYS concealer, the new one. I think we have a very noticeable difference, don't you? All right, I'll do the rest of the face now, and I'll speed it up. Okay, so here's our finished product for the concealer, and I put a lot of it on because I figured if the shade work, we can kind of just use it like a sparse, you know, so edited application of a foundation, really, which is what I like to do lately because I'm really enjoying my skincare and just doing it that way rather than really covering everything up. And I will say, though, this initially is not the type of brush with its flexibility for concealer that I like. It did a very good job. So if you're looking for a really, really soft, kind of flexible concealer brush, this one is more so softer and more flexible than others. So it's kind of personal preference, okay? Interesting. I often talk about concealers as being kind of, if you like a thicker concealer or you like a thicker coverage concealer, like, you know, we tend to prefer the same types of product in our concealer. So this is medium to full coverage, and I agree, but the viscosity of it, the feeling of it is definitely very light. Because it's got a sponge, it applies very little product and blends very easily, but the result, as you see, is very good amount of coverage, definitely medium to full. And it has a really light, almost powdery, it's almost, I would say, a cream to powder, like it feels very self-setting, which is nice. It doesn't mean you can't dot a little powder over it, but yeah, I'm going to say that's a very nice product. We'll see how it looks after I get more makeup on and we start playing with our Urban Decay Moondust quad. But in terms of base complexion, I think that's actually done quite a nice job with a very interesting and yet not gimmicky product, the sponge. And many of you won't like the sponge because you'll feel it's somehow can get dirty, but it comes right off and you can go ahead and clean it. And then it goes right back on pretty easily. So those of you that are worried about cleanliness, please don't worry. That would clean pretty darn easily. All right, I'm going to go fix It's just a little bit of the rest of my makeup, and then we'll come back and we'll play with our Urban Decay palette, so stay right there. Okay, I've been sitting with this for a few hours now, and I have done the rest of my makeup, and now it's time to add a little, well, a little razzle-dazzle, and that's where our Moondust palette comes in. Now, I'll be honest with you, I said earlier that I did put a little bronzer in the crease. That's how I would wear this. I would never wear all 4 of these together. Go for it if you want to. For me, these are one and done, or as I jokingly like to call it, 2 and you're through shades. So I have brought over some rougher brushes here. I want to see, this is a rougher number 2. This shade here is a little less glittery and a little more duochrome than some of the others. So I'm going to start by putting that on this eye. I'm going to put that on one side there. That's really pretty, isn't it? And I'm going to flip over the brush, and on the other side, I'm going to put this other kind of white clear shade, which is a lot more glittery. So this eye has this glittery shade, and the other eye has this more duochrome shade. And then I'm going to take this brush here, same brush, number 2, and we'll put these 2 together. I think they would look nice together. And I'm just going to put that across the eye. So this also is taking on a bit of a purpley read when you put it on, and I'm not putting on too much. Let me show you what happens if I use my finger, though. It's going to put it on more intensely. And this side of the palette does have glitter, but these 2 shades have a little more color than glitter, and the other side will be the opposite. And see the part with the brush, I have a teeny bit of fallout, but it is not bad. And that is very pretty, and the most subtle I've ever seen Urban Decay go with these sparkly shadows. But on the left side here, my left, you are seeing that we went with a little bit more sparkle here. So let's just do it with the finger here too, and this kind of lavender shade, which is going to be mostly lavender glitter. And now you can see what I mean. This eye right here definitely has the 2 very glittery shades. This eye here still has some glitter, but it's a little bit more kind of coverage and a little bit more of a duochrome look than a glitter look. And that's the first time really that Urban Decay has done one of these limited edition, 4 sparkly shade palettes that has a little bit of texture difference. And that is very, to me at least, apparent. So it's really pretty. It's a little bit cooler tone. This shade here, these are a little warmer, but these are definitely cooler. So if you've avoided these in the past, and to pick it up for $39, I'm not saying it's cheap, but it might be a nice holiday staple for you. And like I said, the Sephora sale is coming up. This is not my Sephora recommendation video, but every video I make kind of is, And in terms of the LYS, I'm starting to like the concealer brush more because I really do like how it blended. And the actual concealer product is delightful. I really like how much coverage it has, but how sparsely it goes on. It applies so sparsely and blends so easily, almost a thinner formula, but medium to full coverage. And that's worth it. And LYS has such great prices, $24 for this, especially during the Sephora sale. You can't go wrong with that. I think you'll enjoy it, especially if you like a little more coverage, but an easy blendability. There's just nothing wrong with this product and nothing bad I can say about it. But I want to know what you guys are thinking. Did you purchase it, or are you starting to make your Sephora list? Because that sale is coming, depending on when you're watching this video, that sale's starts for Rouge on Halloween. And a few days later for insiders and VIB and all that stuff. So lots of good choices out there. And like I said, my Sephora choice video is coming on Thursday because the sale starts for Rouge on Friday. So definitely watch for that. I'm going to give you my cart and what I buy and what my staples are. I've never really done that particular video before. So I'm looking forward to it. But I also want to meet you down in comments below to chat with you about these products and any other questions that you have. And in the meantime, make sure that you join me over on Instagram and TikTok, Threads, and Facebook. And we do have a membership. We've got so much going on. We got a membership right here on YouTube where we do weekly lives that I lead, and I would certainly love to see you there. Look for the products down below and where I can up here in YouTube shopping. And I look forward to seeing all of you in the next video. Bye-bye.